Good morning, Sin City, and welcome to the Las Vegas Social Media Show. We have a very special guest with us in the building today, Shahab Zargari. Shahab, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you end up in Vegas?
Vegas, it's kind of a convoluted story we don't probably have time for, but short answer is we were doing a bunch of things in California. I grew up in California,
Okay.
met my wife there, got married, and then around 2007, the economy tanked. And actually, my wife was on the cusp of getting her master's degree. We thought, just because you have a master's doesn't mean you'll get a job in that field.
Right.
And they actually had an opening with a grant at the UNLV library. And I said, perfect.
Yeah.
So we moved here, and it's kind of easy for me to pick up and move and start marketing in a new city. Kind of have to do the ropes and networking and stuff like that. But Vegas has been relatively good to us in that respect.
Right. And the firm you work with, Assurance Advertising, award-winning. I mean, I've checked out your guys' website. Awesome stuff, man.
Thank
I
you.
love that Luxor commercial, by the way.
Thank you.
Really good stuff. So we talked a little bit about in the bio, but kind of recap for us what all your agency does and your role, again, specifically.
I guess our elevator pitch would be that we're a creative agency. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of advertising firms and agencies. And so what we do is anything that has to do with marketing or advertising, we can create that for businesses. We can place it if they need, but otherwise print ads, branding, websites, apps, I mean, the whole nine yards. But generally what we like to do is when we meet with a new client, we say, okay, this is the type of industry you're in. This is who you are. This is how long you've been in business. Based on that, this is our recommendation for a 12-month campaign, which includes, if you're a real estate agent, it'll include XYZ. If you're a, musician, it'll be,
Right.
ABC, completely different. And then based on that, we say, okay, well, now where's the budget, and how
Exactly.
much can you afford? What can we do from there?
I think that's really interesting. I know I've had past talks with you. Your degree's in sociology, but yet you do marketing. But from talks with you, like you have some really good marketing philosophy. So do you feel by studying sociology that helped you for the marketing world?
You know what? It did, and I think if I were to have studied, let's say, psychology instead, it might not have benefited me as much because sociology is the look at what masses of people
masses,
do,
right.
and how they're swayed, but for the most part by
Right.
political. It's got a little bit of the poli sci in there, but I definitely use it in my day to day. But that's not really how I got into marketing. My wife and I in college, we started a record company, and when you're battling Sony and you're battling Capitol, and not only so that's on the one side, then you're battling the guys on Venice Beach who are trying to hand you their CD or
Right.
Las Vegas Boulevard here.
California's probably really competitive for music.
I mean, so many labels, so many bands.
Right.
And so we had to kind of grassroots learn how to design stuff, learn how to get someone who actually really wants the Rancid CD to buy this one instead, and that kind of thing. And then in 2004, my brother opened up a ballroom dance studio in Huntington Beach. Great city, great location. I mean, he was literally on Brookhurst and Adams, two main streets in Huntington. But because of the location, he was hidden from view. So unless you were physically looking for it, you couldn't see it from the street.
Yeah.
And that was huge barrier. Plus, in that industry, you are selling a promise. You are selling, you have two left feet. That's why you're coming here. But I promise you can dance at $100 for every 45
Right.
minutes, right? So, and we did extremely well. So well that after Orange County rent and teacher payroll and stuff, I mean, we were netting 18,000 a month for
that's
a
incredible.
store that was hidden from view. And I said, okay, you know what? We can do this. And that was, so the 2004, 2005, we started our video podcasts. And podcasts were just birthing at the moment. And
Yeah,
YouTube
it's
was
in the
mostly pirated material, right? It was mostly cats. And so I dissected a lesson. One 45-minute lesson is about 4 or 5 steps. So I said, okay, we'll title it Free Swing Lesson, Free Foxtrot Lesson. And I can send you links. Some of them are still up. And we would just do the first step. Little, guy version, girl version together with music. Hey, if you want to learn the rest of that dance,
come on in.
Come on down.
Wow, that's so smart.
We would go live with them every Friday. And again, YouTube wasn't really used for that kind of stuff yet. And we would see spikes in, website visits. And so combining that and the music, I said, you know what? We can definitely do this. So then in 2007, when the economy tanked, I said, okay, now that I've been doing all this design and advertising freelance, here's my opportunity to do it full time. And I mean, from that time until now, we've amassed over 45, 50 clients,
awesome.
Like you said, awards and the like. So
for what you do, especially advertisements, I mean, Vegas is just, it's like New York City, or just everywhere you walk, there's a billboard. There's, a person with a billboard on them, a billboard truck. The amount of ads we're seeing. So I guess, do you feel that this city, there's a different type of mentality going into when you're trying to market, or does it cross over? Probably similarities, but definitely differences.
I would say, it's like you said, it's oversaturated.
Right.
Everywhere you look, every step you take, there's something there. A video, a billboard, someone handing you something. Information desks that aren't really information desks. They're salespeople trying to get you to get something. And so you really have to up your game in order for your, platform to speak and resonate with your target market. But also don't forget that Vegas is a strange breed. Even though there's that oversaturation from the early 1900s, Vegas has been a place where people have brought things to test here. They tested nuclear weapons. Anyone has a new energy drink, they have a new whatever, they bring it to Vegas.
It's
Why? Because if you were to do that same test in Detroit or even New York, that kind of thing, Minneapolis, you will just get that section of the population. Places like Las Vegas, there's so many tourists, and just the transient feel of the people who live here. The fact that one weekend it's a tech conference, the next weekend it's a comedy conference, then it's concrete. You can really get a nice mix to test things, whether it's advertising or specific products. So on the one hand, it's a really nice place to test things, but yeah, you definitely have to up your game if you want to stand out.
Definitely. And how are you guys using social media with what you do?
Personally, because of the music and everything, we've been using social media for a long time. Late 90s, but back then we called it chat rooms.
Right.
I mean, it's essentially the same.
That's true. It's the same
thing,
exact thing.
Except now it's on the phone. Now it's, pretty, or limited to 140 characters and stuff like that. But we use it a lot. When we first started the firm, a lot of what we were doing was video. A lot of it was print ads. Virtually no, we were doing our own social media or personal social media type stuff. And since then, we actually offer social media now. We have social media packages where, again, we would prefer to have it be a part of this larger campaign that doesn't just include that one small facet, because we're not a social media.
It's more of like a tool that enhancer, not people should fully rely on that,
exactly.
But it enhances you.
And so we do utilize it for our clients. We utilize it for the firm itself. Like, for example, I've got my own Pinterest page, and no one really cares, But the insurance advertising one, we get repinned every second. It's crazy, So,
and that's interesting too, because it seems like you've always been that independent guy. Like you're doing your own thing, whether it be music, marketing, whatever it may be. So social media has been a key into what you do. Back to the YouTube video campaign.
Yeah,
so
definitely,
you've always been using it. I like the chat room reference too, because that is true.
That's what I mean.
Social media didn't start with Facebook. Facebook wasn't like the first.
Or Friendster.
Or Friendster. Like it's been
MySpace.
going.
I mean, before, you know.
No, absolutely.
It's just different mutations of it, I guess.
Right. Becoming more mainstream.
But let me just say one thing. And I posted this on someone's Facebook when they were debating whether or not to join Twitter. Out of all the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and this is just personally, of all of the social media that I have been in, Twitter has been the place that I have met the most contacts, gotten the most gifts and, rewards, and met people who actually will deliver on the types of things that they say they do.
I agree with you on Twitter. I'm really big fan of Twitter as well. I mean, look, this morning before we even all got here, there was like 4 or 5 retweets. But I mean, it's definitely the way I tell people. I know Facebook, you can see more about a person maybe and do all that, but Twitter, you can still put your Facebook link, your website link, but you can get to people quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Fast, and I definitely agree with you on Twitter.
And not only that, there's no strange event invites and
Right.
all this stuff looming, games. Twitter, if you have an event, you post it, and if I want to see it, I'll click it. If not, let's move on.
And I know it seems kind of backwards, but I almost feel like Twitter can be more personal than Facebook, because the people, obviously you got your spammers and you got people that are going to abuse it, but the authentic people that you engage with, I feel you can connect quicker. And
Okay,
you're going to be here.
So let's take that and go to marketing. So I have a lot of clients who say, well, it's highly personal. I don't want to be on there and see so-and-so eating a hot dog
Right.
or whatever it is. And so what we tell them is, look, just because you aren't on Twitter doesn't mean that your perfect target market isn't. Right? Same with when we do a lot of ghostwriting, we do a lot of SEO. And what you got to look at is not who your target market is, but your perfect target market. What kinds of things, other than what you're selling, other than what your product is, what other things are they looking for on the internet? That's what you want to hone in on. And that's what you kind of facilitate as far as conversations on Twitter, on Facebook, and that way, instead of you pushing 40% coupon, this is our deal, you do that, people are going to unfollow you. They don't like that.
Right.
They want to have
not
conversations.
just buy my
with you.
stuff. They want to engage.
You look at, certain big, huge brands, and they're pushing recipes out there. Brilliant. That gets people talking.
Brand advocates, loyal people that are going to come to them when they are ready to buy.
Exactly.
That's really good stuff, Shahab. And in the remaining time here, you're also a filmmaker. And you recently had a project called the Crystal Crip. Can you tell us about that? And tell us kind of the Kickstarter campaign you went through recently.
Yeah, we're not quite wrapped yet. We have a little bit more to go. Most of last year was pre-production, and it's essentially a short film that up until now I've pretty much been behind the editor's bay, and I really want to direct. But usually for the commercials that we've done and that kind of thing, especially the bigger budget, I know where my talents lie, and so I usually delegate. I delegate this piece to that guy, this piece to this person. I know who is the cream of the crop
Right.
at what they do. But with a passion project, I figured, look, this is perfect, and it was just kind of going around in my head. But when we did win those silver awards at the Davies for the Luxor commercial, I said, okay, this means, and one of the awards was for videography, cinematography. The other was for writing. I said, okay, let's get the same team together. I don't care if this wins awards. This is a passion project. Let's do it. We found a Philip K. Dick short story that was in public domain. And that was kind of a double-edged sword. Number one, he's the guy who, if you're not familiar, inspired Blade Runner, Minority Report, Scanner Darkly, Adjustment Bureau, and to be able to find something that's in public domain and be able to adapt it was amazing. But because of that, we aren't allowed to, because public domain is within the United States
Right.
only. So We can't get any investments from outside the U.S., no Kickstarter pledges outside the U.S., and we can't show it in film festivals outside the U.S. So it's a big roadblock, but for the passion, we kind of went for it. Kickstarter, we were about 9,600 short when the campaign ended, and I think we did a good run. We spent quite a bit of money on advertising online, and just organically doing social media. On the last day, we had a Twitter trending event. Got over 8 million impressions for the hashtag.
Hashtag Crystal Crip.
Hashtag Crystal Crip, definitely. But again, when we're commissioned to do stuff, that's what the client wants, and that's what we deliver. When it's passion, my passions don't lie in the top 40 Billboard charts or pop culture, and so it was a really hard sell to get people. Hey, who is Philip K. Dick? I don't know who that is, or we had so many people tweeting at us from France and Germany. Oh man, I can't pledge. Sorry, you can help share. So it was kind of an uphill battle, but because of the fact that we got such an amazing PR buzz, and we had, the main characters, Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt, who her new movie just came out with The Call with Halle Berry.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so they started getting interviews about the Crystal Crypt. I mean, we have a good thing going, so we're definitely not going to can the project. We're going to go through with it despite, not funding the Kickstarter.
Absolutely not. And I'll just say right here, I think it's amazing what you've done with that. I mean, to be able to do what you already do, with
as
your
a day job,
as a day job, to just I'm just gonna go make a movie, and you did, and I think that's incredible, and that's really cool.
Thank you.
How you put that together, and I feel I know what it's like to be behind the editor's bay, so but that probably helped you in terms of you know every position of the team. Almost,
Definitely.
And you coach, and you're like, I want this person for color correction, this person for this. So
definitely.
Crystal Crip, this definitely it's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen. The only thing now that we didn't fund the Kickstarter is I'm not sure if we'll finish it in time to submit for 2014 film festivals. Otherwise, it's gonna happen.
Right.
It'll be finished, and we'll see where we go from there.
Absolutely. Well, Shahab, it's been a complete pleasure. Awesome
Thank you.
interview. Where can
I'm
people
honored.
find you? Where can people find you?
You're on Twitter. It's Assurance Agency. And on Facebook, I'm probably the only Shahab Zargari on there. I'm not sure. I haven't checked, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Or assuranceadvertising.com.
Okay, very cool. And real quick, we'll mention, what was the film on Kickstarter that got like $2 million?
That was Veronica Mars. See, and that was pop culture. That was a failed Warner Brothers property, and the producer went to them and said, hey, do you mind if I do a Kickstarter to make a movie? And they kind of laughed at him. Yeah, like, oh yeah, whatever. 12 hours, they made $2 million. We had, I think, 154 backers, which almost $16,000 with 150 people is not too shabby. But they have over 50,000. So, if I would have chosen something, a lost George Lucas script, I probably would have, been sued, but,
Well, everyone, when you see the movie Crystal Crypt come out, you're going to know exactly who it came from. Shahab, thank you so
Thanks for
much.
having me.
Looking forward to what you have for us in 2013, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.